Hi everybody, it's Emily from Bug Creations. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch and other crafting. If you see a little bit of a change here, I have adjusted the way I sit on the bed, so I'm hoping I get a little bit better light today. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. I know a lot of people came over after Caroline said something on Off the Grid Needle Arts. I am Katie and Sam's mom. If you are expecting to see Katie and Sam, I'm afraid I won't be showing them. My husband and I really aren't comfortable with having the kids on camera, especially when they're so little. So I think people understand. But I was very happy to see Caroline say something the other day. I love Caroline. Caroline is amazing. Not everybody would take time out of their day and out of their video to reassure a 4-year-old little girl. Back in April, Katie was watching Caroline with me and she got very concerned. Mommy, where's her mask? Mommy, well, she doesn't have a mask on. And, I was like, okay, she's at home, everything's fine. This is the beginning of the pandemic, and she was concerned. She saw somebody on TV, she knew that person, she cared about them. Why didn't they have a mask? And so I messaged Caroline, and she so kindly took time out of her video to talk to Katie, to show Katie the mask that she'd made, reassure her that she wasn't going places she didn't need to. She was taking her mask and wearing it. Caroline is the best. And there was this joke going around Twitter 3 or 4 months ago, maybe right before the election, that all Americans, please be patient, your emotional support Canadian is being assigned. Caroline has been my emotional support Canadian. I don't know that she necessarily knows that she's been my emotional support Canadian, but she's been my emotional support Canadian in all of this time. So thank you again, Caroline. I meant to have this video up yesterday, but as Katie Bug was going to bed, she fell asleep and then woke up almost immediately. Something must have startled her awake, and she was really upset. So we carried her in here to our bedroom, laid her down in the bed. I laid down with her, and I didn't record because momming is more important than Flosstube. And I figured, well, everybody will understand. So right now it's my goal to get a video up about once a week, towards the beginning of the week. And of course that may depend on little people and how they're doing. So take a drink. Yes, I decided to channel Erin to Martini Stitcher, but I have a light blonde shiner. They're two of my favorite things about Texas. One's Bluebell ice cream, the other's Shiner beer. So, first of all, I actually want to talk about haul first. So, last week, I think I talked about needles and what was driving me crazy. And so I had talked to Ymir, Almond M&Ms, and asked her what she used. And she recommended these bowhin needles. So I ordered some from 123 Stitch. My 123 Stitch order came way faster than it has previously, but I got these. I took 3 stitches and was immediately converted over to bowhin needles. They're great. They are a little longer, but they're very slender and they have a nice big square eye, and it was perfect. So first of all, thank you, Ymir. These are the best. I love them. Second, Ymir announced this morning that she is going to start selling over-dyed silk flosses that she is dyeing herself. So the first thing I did this morning was go to Ymir's new website and order 5 skeins of hand-dyed silk floss. And she has them priced way too reasonably. $3.50 a skein for hand-dyed silk? They're 8-yard skeins. That's really good. My hair is doing something wild, y'all. It was really good. So I bought one in sangria, one in wine, one in clouds, one in a green, and another blue variegated one, which I cannot remember for the life of me at the moment. So one, I will link Ymir's Instagram below, and all of the links to her Flosstube and her shop are in her Instagram. So I bought that, but I bought the needles because Ymir recommended them. And because needles couldn't travel alone, I got Moonstone by Carolyn Manning Designs. And I'm so excited. I have seen these shooting stars patterns so many times. She has them in so many different colors. The new ones all come with miniatures. And I'm so excited. So I have not started this yet. Partly because I said I had goals that I wanted to achieve before I would let myself start this. Now my husband looked at me and he said, Em, just start the pattern. Just start the pattern. Just don't let it get out of hand. I have not started. I have kitted it up. So I don't usually store things this way. Maybe the light is not as good as I'd hoped, but you can see some of the really pretty colors for this. I'm very excited. And I don't actually like this box so much. I like boxes that are more this size. This is what my overdyed for Miss Bingley's library are in, because I don't do thread drops. Anyway, Moonstone. I haven't started it yet because I am trying to decide what to stitch it on. Hence, I'm asking you. Here are my choices. I have 18 count Aida. 18 count Aida. I have in the closet 22 count Aida. I have 20 count Aida that I ordered from 123 Stitch, which actually looks way smaller than 20. That looks like a 22. And I could get really crazy and do it on 28 count even weave. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, the count means how many stitches to an inch. This pattern is you can find it 189 by 189 stitches. So on 18 count fabric, it's going to be 10.5 inches wide. It's going to be 10.5 inches square. And then it'll get progressively smaller. Doing it 28 count 1/1 will be 6 3/4 inches. Now, it also has these smalls. So here's what I'm thinking. How do I want to display these when they're done? Do I want a big one and then have little ones around it? Do I just want to have the big one? Do I want to do the big one on a smaller count fabric and the little ones on bigger count? I don't know. I cannot decide. At the moment, I can't decide. If I do it on 18 count, I will use 2 strands of floss. If I do it on 20 or 22, I will use 1 strand of floss. Which is part of the reason I've been hemming and hawing about this 20 count, because I'm doing my Anne of Green Gables on 22 count. And the floss coverage with just 1 strand is not quite as good as I'd like. This really looks smaller than the 22 count that I've been working on. What would you do? Let me know in the comments, because I'm still trying to decide. I have not started it yet. I said I was going to do a whole bunch of other stuff first, and I'll let you know what that was. Whether I get all of that done before or not, that's debatable. But let me know what you think in the comments, because I honestly just cannot decide. I don't know what to do. Okay, on to what I have been working on this week. I have a finish. So let me get all of my stuff together. So I've been working on Love Sweet Love by Waxing Moon Designs. I think I showed the pattern last week, and I will have this linked below. And I have finished the first one. So this is, this is really cute. It's very small. And I have done this on a 14 count mystery 8. I have no idea what manufacturer this was. Now, this suggested doing it on 30 count Aztec Red Linen by Weeks Dye Works and using Weeks whitewash. Well, one, I don't have that, and I think I talked about this last week. I don't see a whole lot of reason to use overdyed white. I just don't see it. So I decided I'd do it on the Ada, but I really wanted it to pop. So what I did was I used 3 strands of floss, so I had really solid coverage, and then I used DMC B5200, which is the most bright white that DMC has. So I've used that. And so that's my finish. Now, there is supposed to be a little button that goes right here. I don't have the buttons. My mother-in-law has looked for them, looked to see if she had any kind of like them. They're supposed to be these little flower buttons. I don't know if I am going to just stitch another one of these little hearts. So do I take this and just stick it over here somewhere? I may leave it empty. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm kind of inclined to leave this one empty, but if you look at this one, the flowers are actually, the little flower buttons are actually part of the flowers. Don't mean to glare. So that one's a little more up in the air. But this is the one that I've been working on today. I actually started this today. Oh no, my needle. There it is. So let me move the needle minder. There we go. So I've done all of this afternoon. This is how fast this goes. It's super fast. So this is just on a white 14 count Ada that I got from Walmart. Yeah, I got it from Walmart. And I'm doing this, again, 3 strands, but I'm doing this with DMC 321, which is a very bright red. There are some other reds that I could have used, but I had an entire box of 321 because I ordered a box of 321 to do my dad's Cincinnati Reds logo with for Christmas. So I had a lot of it left. That's what I'm doing. The third one, which would be this one, which I have not done yet, will also be done on the red, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in the next couple of weeks because I don't think I have enough B5200. This took 2.5 skeins. It doesn't look like it, but you know, I've used three strands of floss. Or yeah, 3 strands of floss. And I don't know that I have enough B5200. And I am not going to the store after more floss. I am not making any unnecessary trips. What trips I am making, I'm making with 2 masks on now. I'm not going anywhere unnecessarily. If I have to, then I will just wait and make a, I'm just gonna have a rolling cart on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So that's what that's doing. I'm hoping I should, however, have this finished next week to show you. And I think it'll be pretty. And I'll have decided what I want to do here-ish, I hope. it's possible I may just make something up and stitch it in. Okay, what else have I worked on? Okay, in order to do this, I told myself I had to do certain things. First thing was I needed to finish at least the second one of these. Second thing I said I needed to do was to finish my ink circles. Now, I'm not putting pictures in today because I need to keep editing to a minimum tonight, but all of this is linked below in the description box. I said I had to finish my ink circles. I haven't finished it yet. What I do have is the entire outline done. So I spent a good part of this weekend, maybe last week I should say, working on the outline and getting it all done so I can do a lot of this fill-in kind of on autopilot. You know, just go up and down without an issue. And then this stuff, that, you know, that won't be too bad. But you can kind of get what it's looking like here. And this is where those new needles have really, really helped. I was having a terrible time pulling my needle and thread through this fabric. I don't know if it's just the 18 count that I have here. This is Antique White. I don't remember what brand it is. And I was having a really hard time and it was starting to irritate my hand. I got those new needles. It slides through like butter. Love it. So I said I would have to finish this before I can start my shooting star. Am I gonna get there? I don't know. I said I would have to touch my pansies. I have not touched my pansies. They're in the closet. This I'm not doing in any particular hurry. This is my historic Stiefmüster shooting star stitch along. And I did finish a swirl and I've gotten all of this fill in on this block done this week. It's been very nice and sunny. I've been out with the kids a lot. Got to spend quite a bit of time out in the sunshine stitching, which is always nice. Then I told myself I also have to finish a page on Anne. So I have almost half a page finished on Anne. All of this here is fill in with all the same color. It's probably the truest to the color, unfortunately. So I have to finish all of this and then do this other part of the page. Now you will see my grid right there. I don't have the pen on me, but I am doing the gridding with a Pilot friction pen, F-R-I-X-I-O-N. And a Pilot friction pen is very special because the ink will disappear after it hits a certain temperature. So when you iron it, the ink lines will disappear. Now this is not great if you live in a really cold climate because if you get under 40 degrees, the ink lines will reappear. So if you live in Canada or Alaska or someplace where it does get really, really cold, and if you lose the heat or whatever, it could get below 40 in your house, maybe frame it in a way where you can pull it back off the wall and iron it and make them disappear again. That's the overall. But I'm really enjoying that. This is still going along swimmingly, I think. So I'm really happy with it. It's continuing to just be a masterclass in color, I think. You can kind of see the colors, kind of. Sam, my husband Shane was doing some clothing repair, and he had asked me for some taupe off-white sewing thread. So I'd given it to him, and Sam went and got it from the office and brought it back to me and said, "Here, Mommy, you use this for your stitching, for your titching." I said, "Well, thank you, Sam, but this isn't the kind of thread I use for my titching." He looks at me and goes, "No, Mommy, you use it right there. It's the right color for it." He wasn't wrong. So the other thing was I think I was saving this for my mother-in-law's tractors. I think that's why I bought this, but Wood Rose is still out of stock from 123 Stitch, and I won't have it until the end of the month, end of February. So I don't think she's in a particular hurry. I have absolutely no knitting to report. It's been one of those weeks where I haven't had a lot of time to spend knitting. I've spent most of my spare time stitching, which it does look like I've done a lot. I haven't had a whole lot of grading this week. Students don't start turning like full papers in until Friday. But I'm having a lot of fun this semester so far. My students are having some really insightful discussions about some of the things they're reading, and that always makes you happy. I do miss being in my classroom. I haven't been in a classroom, an honest to goodness physical classroom, since March of last year. I haven't had makeup on since March of last year either. My mom said I needed to be wearing makeup for these videos. I hope you don't care. She's probably not going to be real thrilled that I'm drinking on camera either. But I love you, Mom. That is about all I have. Oh, that's not true. I swear I haven't. I've had 2 drinks out of that, that's all. The other thing that I said I had to do in order to start Moonstone was I had to put the second story on Pemberley. So this is Miss Bingley's library. How did you get all? Miss Bingley's library. And yes, I know that Miss Bingley lived at Netherfield. I've decided it's Pemberley because that's what makes me happy. I did, in fact, get the second story onto Pemberley and part of one of the shutters. So that has been worked on. That's all my whips, my works in progress. I don't tend to keep a whole lot on hand because this is my stitchy shelf. Now, that closet is full of fabric, as well as my husband's and my clothing. There's a lot of fabric in there too. Don't listen to what he says. There's plenty of room for clothes. But it's quilting fabric and not cross-stitching fabric. But this is my stitch space. So that's what I have. That's what I have. There's also a cat on the floor. I didn't know he was in here. He's laying in a position that's very undignified, so it's probably a good thing you didn't see him. Anyway, I'm rambling because I'm tired, so I will let you all go. Have a great week. If you would, please subscribe and give me a like. That helps my video get out to other people. And because my video schedule may be a little off day by day, if you hit the notification bell, then you'll get notified. You'll get notified when I upload a new video. I promise I've not had more than 2 drinks of that beer. I promise. Anyway, have a good week. Stay safe. Be kind to somebody this week. It's okay if that somebody is you. Bye, y'all.